Hey everybody, I'm Alex and welcome back. It's been a little while since I made a video. It's more so because I've been kind of been sucked into a game called Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, this was a Wii U only title that came out December 12th, 2015, I believe. Definitely December 2015. I don't know if the date is correct, but you can correct me if you want. Basically, it's a open world JRPG, and if you've never played Xenoblade Chronicles before, it's kind of like that. This one I hear from people is a lot different in terms of how the story is the story unfolds, and the skells, which are the big old robots right here. It just changes a lot of stuff, and it's far more open-ended than Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I haven't played 2, so I don't really know anything about 2. But this is kind of like it's a hybrid of a single player game and an MMO, but not a direct MMO. What I mean by that, not obviously, but you can't play with somebody in the open world. You can do missions with people in the special barracks area, and if you're lucky, you'll find somebody. You'll see like a notification pop up on the top left of the screen, and it'll say, hey, this person has invited you, which means they invite everybody. So we'll see who comes into the actual missions. And they can be fun. I've only played multiplayer a few times, so it's not really a main focus. But what is a main focus in the multiplayer aspect are conquest squads, because you have 3 types. You got Lifehold, and you have Conquest, and you have your friends. The friend stuff I don't think works that or as correctly due to the, Miiverse being gone, but I don't know. And they used to have like Blade records or something like that where you could look up people, but that's also shut down too, so that's unfortunate. Now, in terms of the graphics, oh yeah, I didn't tell you the actual use of the indirect multiplayer. You have a bunch of people, about 32 I believe, playing in each server or in a squad, one of the two. And there's multiple like servers or like squads you can join. Like there's prospectors. I think that's the one I'm in. I can't remember all of them. There's like about a dozen or so you can choose. Maybe I'm wrong about the dozen, but you basically choose whatever faction that you want, and then you stay with that. Most people go with just the first one because it's a little bit more populated with people. So oops, so they didn't really balance that out too well. And what you're supposed to do in these squads in the multiplayer is to do like 5 things. I think it's about 5 or 6 things, and they appear in the bottom right corner. Now you have to hold the R button and push L to go through what you have to do. You have to either kill 10, 16, 20 of these enemies. And there's different kinds in terms of the icons. You got regular enemies, the strong enemies, which are like the regular enemy icons, but they're red. And you have gathering stuff. It's not hard. It's just more so difficult to find where you need to go. Like when you find the enemies, for example, they'll have like an S above their head for squad. So you'll know to kill them. And once you do that, it helps to move yourself towards a higher ranking to get a better reward, because every day you get a division reward. And when that's what they're called, divisions, not factions. That's right. So when you go to the divisions, you'll be able to pick out things like you can get more money, you can restore your HP in a pinch, restore your Skell HP in a pinch, restore your Skell's fuel a little bit. You can have a salvage ticket, which is if your Skell breaks, you can just fix it for free rather than having to pay a shit ton of money, or credits as it is in this game. Now, you have this whole city called New LA. I'm not going to go over the whole story because that's a bit of a task in itself, considering what you need to do in order to progress the story. I'll explain how that works, but I won't go in depth on the story because I don't want you to be spoiled. Not many people have played this, and more people need to. Thankfully, more people are showing interest in the Wii U version, but it's going up in price, so that's unfortunate. I knew this was going to go up in price way back when I got this, so I held on to it and took care of it as much as I could, although I do need a new case. It's a little bit messed up. So what do you do? in this game? Well, one of the main objectives is to get your blade rank up, and also in order to do well and get money, which is credits, and level yourself up. Now, leveling up does not work the same as in some RPGs, where it increases your like attack, defense, all this other stuff. All it does is increase your HP, as far as I know, and the armor that you get for your level or your blade rank or whatever the heck they call it in the game. It will be like, say you're level 60, which is the max. You can get level 60 gear, and that's the best you can get. Scales, there's still better stuff you can get, but I don't know how to get it yet, because there's a crafting system in the game which requires you to get, obviously somewhat rare items, but I haven't been able to find like a lot of stuff that I need in order to get better scale stuff. Like once you go into the menus in the shop in New LA, you're gonna be like, holy shit, there's so much I can do, and it can be overwhelming. It really can be overwhelming at first, because again, there's so much you can do right off the bat. You can just go right out into the open world, kill some enemies, buy some weapons, do some affinity missions, or do some side missions. Sorry, didn't want to show that. Yeah, and side quests, affinity missions to get your money and to get some experience. There's an easy exploit in this game to get experience, but you can search that out on your own. And okay, so when it comes to the party members, you have two that from the very beginning of the game, named Elma and Lynn. They're pretty much your main cast, I guess you can call it. And you can switch them out for different people. There's like over a dozen or so people that you can add to your party. You could have all of them be those different characters, or you could just have your two main party members and a third one as an extra. They have their own levels, their own ranking system in terms of like how their battle style is. They can go up to rank 20. You can go up to rank 10 and do different classes. Like, so you start out as like a drifter, I don't remember what they call it, and then you can move up and go over that way and just do all those. And then you could also just like I'm not showing it the right way, but there's just multiple types of weapons you can choose, and that's really great. And it gives it a bit of a replay value, I guess, but it all seems kind of the same. Now, the way of the progression system, it's simple at first, and it gets a little bit more confusing and a little bit annoying. The beginning, you can go through chapter 1 and 2, maybe 3 pretty quickly, but after that, you have to start doing these affinity missions, because whenever you try to progress, it'll say you need to do these prerequisites. You have to make sure you have like these characters in your party, have your affinity to be a certain level with that character in mind, or like it'll say, hey, go do this affinity with Elma, okay, and your affinity is not quite up to snuff, so you have to go out into battle and listen to her tactics, like do some melee attacks, and you do that, and you'll have like on the bottom bar, you'll have one that blinks, and you want to just do that. Keep doing that, and your affinity will increase kind of slowly, but it will be effective. Or you can do the missions that are given out to blades in this little terminal thing, or you can just, again, find other side quests that are just hiding around the city and do that, or in the overworld, which aren't that many, but it's kind of cool. So once you do the affinity missions, they're not just little like, talk to this person, and there's no like, and it's all just text like a normal mission. These like are their own little like story missions. Think of it like chapter 1, and then like this is like chapter 1.5. So this is like the other hat. Like this is the in between stuff you gotta do before you get to chapter 2, for example. So you do all that stuff, cutscenes, yada yada. You learn more about the character, and then now you can add them to your party, and then you can do the next chapter. And every time you do it, you can cook a meal. It's pretty funny. You get a guy named Tatsu, and he's a little funny, but he can be a little annoying with the way he talks, but it's kind of funny. Yeah, so progression, it's not hard. It can just be kind of annoying in terms of locating where the affinity challenge is, finding the party member you need to get the affinity challenge for, and if their affinity is at the right level. Thankfully, most of them only require, the ones that require progression usually only need 1 heart. Some like Elma and Lynn probably require like 4 or 5 because they're your main party members. So that's kind of neat. The graphics in this game are incredible for Wii U. Now, you'd say, oh, but Mario 3D World looks better than this. Mario Kart 8 runs better, looks better than this. You could be right. I mean, you have a solid, argument with that. But for the scale of this game, it's absolutely incredible. Like, it's about 16 or 14 miles bigger than Breath of the Wild. Now, Breath of the Wild, mind you, you can do a lot more stuff in the world itself. And Xenoblade X has somewhat of an empty overworld. You can still get a lot of items. You can still fight a lot of enemies. It's just more so a natural wildlife, but like there's little collectibles you can get, like searching things that require your like archaeology, your mechanical, biological, just all these little like things that you can use to search items and get like credits or mining probes. Yes, and speaking of this, this game uses the gamepad a lot. Like not like cumbersome. It's not like a Star Fox Zero where it's kind of required in a way where it can be annoying. It's more so for menu navigations. Like, okay, I want to fast travel to this area way out there. Way north, say in Caldros. That's one of the places. And it would take you a long time to fly there, for example, or even run there. So you could just teleport to a specific location there. Like you have all these probes that you can get, and you can add like mining, research, storage, duplication, things. Duplication's a little hard to find, but you can get them. And you can make money off of it. Meranium is pretty much needed to increase your AMs, which are, there's like a decent, you'll see how many you have if you actually play the game, and you just gotta get them all up to level 5 or something. I don't really remember what that does. I think it lets you get better gear, but I'm gonna figure that out eventually. Again, I feel like I'm still scratching the surface of this game, even though I fucking beat it. It's weird. The game itself really, it's long, but if you know what you're doing, like ahead of time, you might be able to beat it pretty quickly. Maybe in about like 30, 40 hours. I put in about 150-ish. Most of it was like screwing around, looking around in the hub overworld. You're going to find yourself doing that a lot more than actually progressing the story. You're going to want to search pretty much everything you want, or can, I guess. I would say work on getting your blade rank up so you can change your barracks up a little bit, and you can level up your, your specific skills for searching for stuff over in the, in the overworld. So definitely go for that. And if you can play with somebody online, definitely try it. It can be fun. And make sure you do those online missions, so you can get yourself a good division reward. And you also get reward tickets. Reward tickets in this game can be used at that terminal and the multiplayer area, which you can access easily. You don't have to like enter an online mode just to use the terminal. You go in there, and you can sometimes get items that are for gathering quests just to save you some time. It's awesome. So definitely rely on that. And it's going to be unfortunate one day when this video is outdated and I'm talking about the multiplayer that the servers will shut down for this game. And goddamn, this game needs a port. I don't know how well it would work as a port because it uses the gamepad a lot. You may get a separate menu where you can navigate it with a thumbstick, but I don't know. I think this game works really damn well on the Wii U. Really damn well. And you need like multiple patches just to make this game run even better, because they couldn't fit it on the disc, I guess, or they thought, well, the Wii U doesn't have a lot of space, so we'll just give them the base game, and then the patches will be separate as a downloadable thing in the eShop. Kind of weird. I wish it was just in one big patch, but I don't know. I'm not Nintendo or Monolith Soft. So when I started playing this game again, because I kind of had this thought in the back of my head that they're going to announce a port of this game sometime this year, I thought. But instead, we got Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which isn't a bad thing. More Xenoblade games, the better. But I really think this game deserves to be ported to the Switch. A lot of people don't either know about this game, think it's not as good as the other Xenoblade games, because, again, it didn't reach that big of an audience. I'm sure that opinion would change if more people got their hands on it. I don't know how the port will work, but they gotta make it. They need to make this port happen, because this does not deserve to die on the Wii U. Absolutely not. In terms of exclusives, this is the only one left that matters, besides Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. So they said it would require money, and I think they probably got that money from those pretty damn good sales of Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and the DLC for the game, and now we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming out. I hope these games keep doing well, so this game can happen and sell well. It better fucking sell well, so we can get a sequel to this game, because this game ends on a cliffhanger. Yeah. So I was really depressed after I beat the game, because I'm like, damn it, I don't know if this game is ever going to get a sequel, or if it's ever going to get a port so we can get a sequel. And in 3 years, this game's going to be fucking 10 years old. So maybe in 2025, I could see this being ported. Maybe. Or a sequel. I'd like to see this being worked on now and all that. I don't know how they'd redo the multiplayer, but it's just gotta happen. People say the Switch wouldn't be able to handle this game. The Switch is stronger than the Wii U. Okay? It was able to handle things like Doom 2016 and just really big third-party games that were also on PS4 and Xbox One. Unlike the Wii U generation, literally, where little to none of the, third-party games came to the Wii U that could have run on it, but they just didn't, because, no support. But if I don't care if they had to put a big patch out for this game on the Switch to make it run better, but I still don't see how this game couldn't run on Switch, considering the Switch is stronger, and it's just, games can look good on there, really good. And sure, this runs at 30 FPS or so on the Wii U. Just keep it at that. I mean, we don't need it to be 60. If you want it to run as best as it can, and you can only get it at 30, if it was on a new Switch sequel console where it's 4K and pretty damn powerful, then I would expect 60. But this needs to happen, because this is going up in price to about $70, $90 right now, and that's a crime. Very big crime. So, what do you guys think? Does this game deserve a port? What do you guys think of it if you actually played it? Let me know below. Anyway, this video has gone on long enough. My name is Alex, and I'll be seeing you next time. Farewell.